Hey there, this is Michael with the general reading intended for Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for the month of November 2020. I do hope this video finds you well, whether you're watching it for yourself or maybe cross-watching for another individual with Taurus placements. I have all of my links down below if you're looking for a personal reading or Reiki session, although I haven't quite decided yet if I'm going to be taking time off this month, but the links are available down there nonetheless. I do also have the astrology blog that I will kind of be referencing throughout this reading. It has the dates of all the aspects and transits I'm going to be mentioning. And I think for this month especially, it's very, very good to be aware of what is going on with the stars. We actually are seeing a lot of aspects that occurred at the beginning of this year, even around March and April, which, as many of you know, is when a lot of the world locked down and we all went into quarantine. And I think we're going to be seeing something similar maybe this month, but it's different at the same time because all of the outer planets that were retrograde earlier on this year are actually direct now. So even though we're sort of seeing these echoes from the past come back again, I think it's going to be a little different. We do also have a full moon, actually tonight, in your sign, and this is October 31st, and that's kind of leading into November being a month of big revelations, because the new moon in your sign is also conjoined with Uranus, and Uranus has been in your sign all this year, really shaking up our sense of stability, kind of challenging our status quo, making us wake up to something new, because Uranus is the great awakener. And that's going to kind of be a theme for the month as well, or at least the next couple of weeks. And there's really so much going on astrologically with Mercury also going direct as well. And Mercury is also going to come with a lot of information all at once. I think the headlines for the next couple of weeks are going to just be very inundating, to be honest with you, or maybe there's just a lot of things that are coming up in our personal lives. It's going to be very, very interesting, and with Mars retrograde, I think there's even going to be a tendency for conflict or some things to kind of really erupt, to be honest with you, regardless of how things go. There's always going to be people who are going to be upset with the way that the pieces fall. So that's going to be really, really interesting. I'm very curious to see what we have in store for you. I'm just going to start shuffling because I feel like I could just go on and on and on about the astrology. Again, that blog is linked down below for those of you who want to really see what I'm talking about with these dates. I'm no longer writing the blogs, the full blogs anymore. I hope that's not too disappointing for all of you. I actually originally started doing those blogs almost as notes for myself. And I was just like, well, if I'm already doing this work, I might as well share it with everybody. But as I've just become more and more familiar with astrology, it's actually just become more work on top of the readings that I'm already doing and the clients I'm already working with. And I'm really feeling like I need to kind of streamline things and shift my focus maybe onto this channel, actually. So I'm no longer writing the full blog posts. I do still have the aspects and transits listed out by date, so I hope that's still useful for all of you. And maybe I'll bring those back, or maybe I'll even start making astrology videos on this channel as well. Let me know in the comments down below what you think is best, and we'll kind of go from there. So what are the messages for Taurus for the first half of November? Interesting. We have the Page of Swords in reverse, the Page of Coins in reverse, and then we have three cards coming out together, the Knight of Coins, the Ten of Wands, and the Five of Wands. I almost feel like there's too many people in your life at the start of November, or there's just too much going on. I'm getting the expression too many cooks in the kitchen. You know, everyone's trying to do all these different things at once, and it's like you're getting in each other's way. I kind of see that with the Page of Swords and the Page of Coins here. And honestly, Taurus, I feel like you're working very hard on something. because you have the Knight of Coins and the Ten of Wands here. You're working really, really hard, or another person is working really hard on something. And that could be another earth sign, so Virgo, another Taurus, or Capricorn, but I feel like it's you. And I feel like, I know this is a general reading, but I feel like a lot of you are students or learning something new, or maybe a bit out of your comfort zone, kind of expanding your horizons here, expanding your skill set. Because with the Page of Swords and the Page of Coins, it's like you're learning something new, or at least you're trying to. But there's already so much that you're tending to. And to be honest, with the Ten of Wands, kind of looking at this specific card, it's like you've grown all of these things. There has been progress for you. And there has been some sort of growth here for you with the Ten of Wands. But it's almost like you've taken on so much that now it's become a burden. And it's funny how I started off this video talking about how I needed to kind of let go of some of the work I've been doing. I need to kind of streamline things. I actually feel like, Taurus, you're in kind of a similar position yourself. And I see this Five of Wands, and it makes me wonder if there are other people who are just throwing more complication on top of everything else you're dealing with right now. It's like your plate is already full. And I feel like this Page of Coins and Page of Swords may not be appreciating that. They may not recognize how much you're already doing. And I'm even drawn to the Six of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. And for some of you, I actually wonder if this is about your children or someone who's younger than you. Usually the pages represent younger people, or someone who is starting off a new journey. I get the sense, Taurus, that you might also be carrying the weight of other people. Because when I see pages, I also think of people who might be making commitments that they can't keep, or they are overestimating the amount of effort or energy they can put in towards something that they can mean well, but they end up not being able to deliver. And because of that, you're somehow picking up the weight. Let's see. Let's pull an animal card and see what advice we have so far, and maybe gain some more perspective here. And then we'll look at the second half of November. You know, and with Mercury just going direct on November 3rd, it's like you're playing catch-up, and maybe you're starting to find work or tasks that kind of fell under the radar or slipped under the radar. You have the snake and the golden egg here. Interesting. So with the snake, this does tell me that something indeed does need to be shed. And you are coming into a new cycle right now. And with the golden egg, this is actually a very beautiful energy because it's the heart chakra. And you really need to be working with the center, especially if you feel like you're not receiving, because the heart chakra pertains to giving and receiving. And I almost feel like you're this serpent wrapping around this egg. Coming back to your heart here. So you're a little overwhelmed. You might be feeling overwhelmed coming into this month. And this could already be work that you've taken on. And now you're really seeing that there are some situations you just need to let go of for now. Because it feels like there's just a lot going on. Let's look at the second half of November And with Mars going retrograde, or I'm sorry, Mars going direct on the 14th, that's going to be in Aries, which is your 12th house, your subconscious, your spirituality, your dreams. It's like you're coming back in touch with your heart and your magic. And I feel like even though we are in Scorpio season, we still have a lot of planets that are in Libra through the first half of November. And Libra pertains to your 6th house, your house of routine, your health. And you might be taking on too much work. And now you are really feeling like you need to just clear up your schedule, tie up some loose ends here, figure out what you can finish and what you can delegate to somebody else. And for the second half of November, you have the Devil in reverse with the 10 of coins, which is very nice to see, and the Queen of Wands in reverse. For some reason, I really do feel like there is a family situation for some of you, and there could be an individual who is being a bit controlling or selfish. Their energy is kind of like a vortex pulling everything around them. Could be a Capricorn, doesn't have to be though. But I feel like you are ending this cycle. And you're kind of freeing yourself from people or situations that have controlled you or kept you out of your power. And if there was a financial component to this as well, maybe like a spouse or family member who has some degree of financial control over you, I feel like you're somehow creating stability for yourself. And with this Queen of Wands in reverse, I do feel like some of you really could be dealing with a very dramatic, narcissistic person. I'm actually wondering if there is this, I almost want to say like an addict or something that you are associating yourself with, or someone who's just really struggling, maybe with their mental health. But it feels honestly like a big energy drain to you. There's only so much that you can do. There's only so much of yourself that you can give to this person. And it almost feels like they're kind of taking advantage, to be honest. And that's not even to say that they're not truly ill or that they're not truly struggling. I'm sure they are. People don't do these things if they're not hurting. That's the truth. But I think you're figuring out where your boundaries are with this and just how much you're able to help this person, because at the end of the day, you can't take someone's burden on yourself if they're not going to carry any of the weight. And I feel like you're really focused on your own stability, and there's this beautiful foundation that you're building with the 10 of coins. And it's interesting because we have a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius at the end of the month, which is your 8th house. It is your house of joint finances. It's also a house of power. And it's like, whatever sort of financial situations where you've been financially dependent on other people, or there's been some sort of financial abuse, or maybe taking advantage of, or being taken advantage of, I should say, I feel like this is being corrected. And some of you might even stop supporting an individual in your life, or you're realizing you're sort of enabling their bad behavior. And I am seeing this 9 of Cups at the bottom of the deck here. It feels very connected to this devil energy. Someone is not happy about this. Someone is not happy that you're building something for yourself, that you actually are coming into a lot of abundance, and they might know it, and they could be coming into your life trying to reap some of that for themselves. And if it's not money, it could be something else. It could be that they just see that you have something that they don't, and they're hoping to kind of siphon some of that from you, or take some of that for themselves. Interesting. 6 of Cups in reverse with the 3 of Cups. Yeah, I do feel like some of you are cutting off people from the past. There is also this big focus on friendship for you. And I think this is really occurring with Neptune going direct in your 11th house. You are realizing who your real friends are, who the people who actually support you are. Because the 11th house can represent our support system. It can even represent the way that the universe at large is supporting us, because often we find opportunities through people, through connections. And the 11th house is all about networking, friend circles, social networks. And I get the sense you are really figuring out who your actual allies are. And you might be cutting off some people from the past, and honestly it feels like some far-reaching history between the two of you. And you're kind of distancing or pulling away from that person, or you're feeling like you need to. I want to clarify this 10 of coins actually. It's like, if there was this person who in the past, you know, took money from you or took something from you, and they said they'd pay you back or repay you in some way, they might be coming back and just asking for more again, and it's like, you know this game with them. And if you are going to support them in some way, like, don't expect to get it back, just to be honest with you. Interesting. Yeah, the 10 of coins with the 9 of coins. Some of you are really coming into a lot of money or a lot of abundance. And maybe it's with all this work that you've been putting into something, you've been working very hard, you start seeing the fruits of your labors. And this could even just be the universe coming in to reward you for all the effort you've put in. There's some unexpected money, or there's just some sort of payoff for all the work that you've been doing. And you've earned this. And I don't want you to kind of squander this blessing, whatever this harvest is that you're having, on whoever it is who's coming into your life and trying to take from it without being in proper exchange with you. And this isn't surprising, because you do have a full moon in your sign on October 31st. There's a big reward coming in. There's a culmination here, and there are some endings that come with those full moons as well. And with this lunar eclipse at the end of November, at the end of this month, or this month that we're reading for, this lunar eclipse, it really is signifying some big endings and completions with things, some rewards as well. But often the energy is a bit intense, to be honest with you, and there's so much about this energy this month that can really bring out the worst in people, just to be real. Neptune going direct can actually be people relapsing, or people defaulting on old behaviors that no longer serve them. And I actually kind of get that sense with the Devil in reverse. For some of you, this person might actually have a drinking problem with the 9 of Cups. Or just something with substance abuse. They overindulge, they overdo something, or that they really get wrapped up into their emotions. They kind of lose themselves in that. And I just feel like you don't want the drama anymore. You're done with this Queen of Wands in reverse energy. So that's really, really interesting. Let's pull one more animal card and see what else we have for you. What's the last bit of advice for Taurus? Yes! Phoenix! There is some death and there's a rebirth here as well. You are coming into so much stability because Phoenix represents the root chakra. You have a fresh start here, and you had to shed some things with the serpent energy, and you did have to work very, very hard with the Ten of Wands, but you saw something through, and the universe is rewarding you for that, and there might be people who are trying to reap the rewards of your own labor here. You don't have to succumb to these people. In fact, when I see the Phoenix, it's letting go of old karma and letting go of the things that sabotage you, or the ways that you sabotage yourself, I should say. And that's something you've worked very hard at that I feel like some of the people around you haven't really put in the effort towards. And it even feels like they've left you hanging in the past, or they left you in a hard place in the past. And I even get this, like, this sort of sense of, like, working on a group project where one person does all the work and then they get the A for everybody else. And it's like you don't see your other group mates, you don't see the other people you're working on this project with until the very end, and they're trying to kind of capitalize on your efforts. But I feel like, Taurus, you're not having that. You know what you worked very hard for, and you're not going to give them anything more than they deserve. And this is just a big rebirth here for you. And a fresh start. I'm really, really excited to see this. This full moon in October really ignited you, and there's a lot of big energy here for you. So this is really, really beautiful. I'm even seeing this moon card at the bottom of the deck here. It seems like a nod. Yes, this moon is a big shift for you, and the rest of the year is going to be a big shift for the collective, but you're going into a very positive direction. You're really coming into a lot of abundance and security and stability, and that comes with transformation. A lot of the time we think of stability as stagnancy, and that's not what it means at all. In order to be stable, you have to be willing to transform. And that's kind of the lesson of your opposite sign, of Scorpio, in a way. And with Uranus in your sign, you're going through a lot of transformation over the next several years. And I think especially with this full moon, you are really awakening to this new level of stability. And it comes from within, but you're also seeing this being reflected in your external reality as well. I do hope that this was helpful for you, Taurus. Be sure to hit like and subscribe. What are all these things that you've been working so hard on? It seems like it's about to pay off very soon. Let me know in the comments down below. All of my links are in the description box, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, Taurus, and have a happy November.